What's up, what's up, what's up, my friends? Welcome. Get ready. Grab a snack and a bevy. It's time for you and I to have a chit-chat. Straight up facts. Tell it like it is. Laugh till you pee your pants. Cry because you probably needed to. And I can't promise, and I'm not going to throw any F-bombs, but I can promise you'll feel a lot better after listening. It's time to get personal, one-on-one, down and dirty, and have a coffee talk. Buckle up. Let's go. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome. Happy Saturday. It's time for a coffee talk. I'm Denise. Go get yourself a beverage if you haven't already. And if you're new, welcome, because apparently I have a ton of new listeners or subscribers, and I appreciate I appreciate you all. I'm a little tongue-tied today. Let me take a little sippy. It's a coffee talk day, so we're just chit-chatting today, nothing formal. But I just wanted to go through and let you guys know what's going on, what's up, what's whatever. I will tell you this, that I cannot be any more incredibly blessed for each and every one of you, for my family, for my husband, for my amazing son, for my crazy ass dogs. I am just so blessed right now. And I have been on this journey to just kind of almost center me. Does that make sense? I was trying to find a way. I'm like, wait, what? Just kind of centering me and finding just living in today's joy. I am going to shout out once again. If you are not sure where to start in a spiritual journey, or maybe you just don't even want to make it all about spiritual, and just do a journey to kind of find some peace in your life, I highly recommend my friend Brenda Cooper's book, God Goggles. You can get it on Amazon. It's literally a 60-day devotional with no more than a page or a half page of reading. You can do it anywhere, not in the car. Don't do it in the car. You know what I'm saying? But don't be silly, peeps. But, I got to put a disclaimer out there because, So I highly suggest that book, because that is one of the things that really catapulted me into just wanting to dig deeper, because we're so conditioned to do things based on how we were raised. And I've talked about this in the past. How we were raised is when we are being instilled the beliefs of our parents and what they know, but we don't know if that's for us, which is why when we get into our 20s, we're so confused and we're or we're teens and we rebel, because it's kind of when we start understanding that some or a lot, or in my case, all of the beliefs that I had instilled in me when I was younger are just not what I want to live today. They don't align with what I want to do. I want more, and I want to do it. Now, I will tell you that it started off with spirituality, then it started out with decluttering. I'm still decluttering my house. Oh, people, this takes a while when you're really digging at it. So what I did was, and let me tell you, when you have OCD, or you just like things that are I don't know, like power washers, I love me a power wash. Not personally. You hear the dogs. That's Sheikah today. I'm sure Buster's bothering her and it's actually him, but verbally, I don't know if you heard that, but we've got Sheikah going today, and I don't really care anymore. There's that. But I will say that if you like instant, this gratification of going through and seeing the cleanup as it's happening, get yourself a shredder. So I've never had a shredder, and I spent 2 weeks trying to figure out how I can get rid of this copious amount of paper that we have had. I brought paper in from before I got married to Mr. Sith, and he brought paper in, and I'm like, why do we have all this paper? And I'm like, everything's like paperless now. Why do we have this? Do we actually need it? A lot of people were like, don't just throw stuff out. We're not doing that. Okay. This is stuff that, like, I have 2 banker boxes filled with things that we had intended on shredding 6 years ago when we moved in here, or burning in the fire pit, and we never got around to it. Shredded. I took care of it. I bought me a nice shredder too. Like, it does a lot of pages, it does CDs, it does credit cards, it does plastic, it does staples, it even does paper clips. I ain't even playing. So I've been shredding everything. And Mr. Sith is at the point now where he's just like, okay, no more shredding until after the next garbage day. So it's like, okay, I'll stop and just start me a pile. And that's what I've been doing. It's very satisfying to just know that even though your house is clean, that even if you open up a drawer, that is clean as well. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also then doing this major, some like decluttering, but I'm also doing this like major storage overhaul. So I have different bins. Like right now, I have an empty bin that I think is going to be crafts, or craft like things, to do. Like if you're looking for paint to paint something, the boys are always looking for stuff to paint for scouts. And I'm like, I have paint. I don't know what you guys do with it. Every time I borrow it to you, it disappears because Mr. Sith never puts anything back. He doesn't know where it goes. And rather than ask, and sometimes if he actually asks, he still puts it in a different spot. That's a whole nother problem. But I figure if I put it all in one spot, then we'll know to just go to that area. Like, stop asking. And I'm also trying to set up like yarn stuff, but I'm putting together like pictures. I'm putting together Peter's baby stuff that I was going to do a baby book. Yeah. This is where I'm at. I have one child and I still haven't finished this baby book. How lazy. I snorted on air. That's awesome. How lazy is that? Or I don't know if it's lazy or just didn't have to find the time, but I'm like, literally, if I don't have time to do something after I finish this whole project of the house, then that's going to be like my project. I'm going to start crafting and doing all of these books and putting them together into a storage bin for him, period. And then I'm like, what do I really need to save? Like, I have his entire crib collection. Like, I have bumpers. Stop. If you know how to put them on correctly, there isn't any problems. But I have bumpers, and I have like his original bedding and sheets. Everything's like what is it? I forget what they call it. The thing that goes, the mobile. Thank you, the mobile. Everything's like Peter Rabbit. The quilt that went over the back of the crib thing. Yeah, I have it all, and I'm like, why do I have this? Like, so I save it so that he can like insist on having it for his kids. Like, why? So I'm trying to put it all together so that I can give it to someone in need, or just, you know what I mean? So we have what is it, like free group, where like you just exchange stuff or you just give it away and to the most needy. So it's not like a first come, first serve. It's based on need. And so I really like that you can pick and choose like what you want. Bus, go lay down. Leave that alone. Just getting a little nosy with my school stuff. But stuff like that. So I want to like make sure it's all organized and it has a place. It's funny because I had just mentioned my friend Brenda Cooper's book, God Goggles. It is available on Amazon. Go check it out. 60-day devotional. Brenda doesn't even know I'm doing this. And honestly, I don't even know if she listens to my podcast. But I just want you to know I will plug stuff that I love. Okay. But she also just redid like a she shed in her house. And it's like her husband did this like closet with like closet doors with like stuff that hangs on it, like organizational racks. And I'm in love. I'm like, what? Because of course they have to be fortified. And I know what I want in the basement. Like, I know what I want. I know what I want it to look like. I want to have a craft table that comes down, but I also want like a, what's it called? A Murphy's bed? The one that drops down from the drawer. But I also want it to look like shelves. They have all these kits you could buy now. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. But I want a table that I can do crafts at, like by pulling up some stools, or that I could stand at and wrap presents, because the struggle is real, people. I'm going to be 55 this year, and I'm not loving sitting on the floor. I'm wrapping on a bed. I'm wrapping on the dining room table, and it's just not the right height. I want it specifically made at a certain height. Like I'm like all in now. Am I remodeling my basement right now? No, it's a complete shit show, but it is going to be headquarters for my organizational method once I start cleaning that out when I get down there. I have to get through the garage first because I want the garage to be empty, because I want to redo the floor, and the stairs need to be redone, and I want to have an electrician come in and like add some sockets and anywhere, because there's like no electrical sockets except in the actual air in the garage door opening, the one that like hangs from the ceiling. There's light plugs on that. How's that helping me? Like, how am I supposed to do that? So we have somebody finally who had really good recommendations, and so we're gonna use him to help bring some of these people in to kind of do these little jobs that Mr. Sith would prefer not to do. There's that. But the one thing we did decide, I don't know if I shared it with you guys. The one thing we did decide to do is we were planning, we love our trips. We were planning on doing Christmas and New Year's in London. And we are foregoing that trip because we've decided to take that money and allocate it to the house. I want a new kitchen. And a trip to London for Christmas and New Year's will get us a new fence and a kitchen. I'm not joking. There's that. So we're going to do that instead, and then do that at a later date. We can pick up our travel again. We're just realigning where our priorities are. And right now we want to make our home like as much home as we can. We're also doing the redoing the floors. We have to do the fence. The fence was an added figure coming in, which we have to do first, because the temporary fence. So those of you who don't know, I have a fairly large yard, and it is a tree lined lot, which is awesome, but not awesome because there's shit everywhere. Like, not like literal shit. Well, right now there is literal shit because I'm in the Midwest and we're in the thaw of spring. So you get to hear you get to see all of the bombs from the dogs all winter. But it is, we had a fence. It was fine. It was older, but it was intact. And our neighbor burned it down a year and a half into buying our house. That was a poop show. He did not want to replace it. You ask, why does he have an option, Denise? I will tell you why, because we were insured through a major carrier that I will just, I'm not going to say their name, SF, but they have third-party claims people now, and they would not fix our fence. It was like a poop show going back and forth through this guy who wants to go to the junkyard and pick up like scrap fence pieces and wants my husband to help him put the fence up that he burned down. I'm like, how is that helping me? Like, I'm sorry that you did something that you shouldn't have done. You lit a fire to get rid of yard debris on a windy day, which is a no-no, okay, behind a farm. And it ripped and burned down. It ruined my black walnut died because it doesn't do smoke. So we're talking like an $18,000 plus tree, not to mention an entire fence, which isn't cheap. Welcome to 2024. But he wouldn't answer phone calls. We went back and forth. And then when I got nasty with him and was like, listen, I'm not really understanding what part of this you're not getting. Just because it's the first time I owned a home doesn't mean that like you get to take me on a run. And then he was like, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. You're nasty. And I'm like, okay, not pretty much any nastier than someone who burns down their neighbor's fence and then refuses to pay for it because you didn't think it was in like a condition that deserved a new fence. Then don't burn it down. So needless to say, every time we get a freaking windstorm or something, I'm like, please blow down. Please blow down. So we put a temporary fence up. Sorry, not sorry. Little tangent right there. We put up a temporary fence. My sister did when we were in Europe. She had a friend come over, a friend of the family, and put up a temporary fence. That was a whole nother story on its own. Just saying. Look at the vacation files for that. And so he put it up, but this is windstorm time in this area, Midwest. We get microstorms. Where I'm at with the thing, we get micro bursts. So we back up to a farm, so it's nothing but like wind, and it blew down. And how do we know? Because we finally figured out something was going on, because Buster came in one day, 3 times in one day, completely covered in burrs. In case you need a reminder, Buster is in Newfoundland, which means he is covered in a double-coated long hair dog. Yeah. So I had to lay him on the floor, and 30 to 40 minutes in, Mr. Sith did one, I did one, and then I think we both did a second one, the third one. It is just ridiculous. And so I'm like, where are these burrs coming from, dude? Mr. Sith did a perimeter check. He's like, I'm not seeing them. I even into the trees. We have like arboree. I call them pencil trees. But they are like, they surround the whole lot. And then we have like some sort of evergreen fir trees in the back. I hate both of them. I want to take those down. We have a useless birch that needs to come down. We do have a mulberry. I love the mulberry. I liked the black walnut more, but the mulberry's nice. And then we have a crabapple tree that's really pretty for 3 days, and then it's just a tree. There's that. And then we have the huge red maple, which is like about 15 feet from our house. Not a fan. Mr. Sith loves it. Not a fan. If it was up to me, that tree would come down because it's too close to the house. It's root bound. The roots are above the ground level at this point, and I can't only even imagine what it's doing to our foundation currently. Just saying. I don't really care who sends me emails about how I shouldn't kill trees. You know what? If people don't want trees taken down that are big, they shouldn't plant them next to their fucking house. Just saying. I know Mr. Sith's just going to come home one day, and I'm just going to be lobbing off shit on this tree because it's also like literally rubs up against my siding, and that's just not okay. So there's that. But we could not find this burr tree anywhere. And it turns out I was washing dishes and I was looking out the window and to the yard. Obviously, we have a window that overlooks the yard, and the wind was blowing, and I'm watching the trees, and all of a sudden I see a bright light, and I'm like, wait, what? And when I look down under the trees, I see that in the corner where we had the temporary fence, when the wind is blowing, it's literally blowing the gate open. It's connected to nothing anymore. And I'm like, whoa, it's like flapping over there. And I'm like, well, oh, shoot, the dog's in the yard. So I'm like, Carl, the dog's outside. The fence is open. Carl is Mr. Sith, by the way. So he's not real quick on his feet. I'm just going to let everybody know. So I'm like, hurry up. Oh my God, Buster's going out. Buster's going out. So, but now I know, like, well, shit, now he just leaves the yard. And he's just like not running. Just, he's a newfie. So he's just like, oh, look, an opening in the gate. I'm going to go through. So he goes through. And so finally, Mr. Sith catches up with him. And he said when he called him, he turned around and was like, hey, look at this. I'm outside. And he was covered in burrs. So Mr. Sith said everything out there was burrs behind that section. So apparently he's been going out more than once. And we just noticed, thank goodness. So he's chipped and all that, but still, you know what I'm saying? So we figured that out. So the fence is not out, and they have to be on a long leash, like a lead now when they're outside. And it's not so much of an issue for Sheikah as it is for him. So we're just going to replace the fence. There you go. Boom. That was a big ass story for that's why we're replacing the fence. That's how I roll, people. That's how I roll. What else is going on? Peter took his Iowa basic skills and his COGAT scores, and they were phenomenal. They were absolutely phenomenal. He is way above, like his Iowa basic skills scored him like 91+%. I think it was like 91 or 94. I don't remember. I'll be honest with you, but it was above 90%, which means that out of the entire United States of America for second grade scoring, Peter scored 91% more than any of the other kids in second grade in America. Let me tell you how exciting. It's exciting to know that your kids are scoring high anyway, But let me give you, I'm going to toot my own horn. It's especially exciting when you're the teacher and you're a homeschooler. So I was super excited about that. So that was pretty psyched out. And he did really well on COGAT as well. So it was like, sweet. Now we know his strengths, his weaknesses, where to go, and kind of take a new direct approach to how we teach him stuff, which is a learning process for me. Not too much of a learning process for now. I am going to keep supplementing his income, but we are currently actively in admissions process to put Peter into a private Christian academy. We've been thinking about this for a while. We've looked at this school over and over again, and quite frankly, he is asked to go back to school, and he is not going to a public school district. We actually bought this house because of our public school district, which has gone to hell in a handbasket. So I'm like, well, here we go. And it's a really nice school, and it's K through high school. So he will have the same group of friends through it all. And I'm like, you know what? I really like this. So we're going to do that. We also are doing something else. I know we got a ton of stuff going on. So I've mentioned this a little bit to Mr. Sith, but I don't really, sometimes he doesn't really like understand that I'm like all in when I mention something that I've already planned it out in my head. Or maybe he does. In all honesty, he probably does. But I have decided, and I've mentioned this before, that in this path that I have in spirituality, there's one thing that I feel is like missing. I need like a redo. Now, I was born and raised a Roman Catholic. I'm still recovering. And if you're a Roman Catholic, that's wonderful. God bless you. But it's just not for me. Currently, I just need, I don't feel like there should be a middleman. I'm not going to explain any more than that. I feel that there should not be a middleman. God had no intention of having a middleman. I don't need to confess to someone in order to feel good. I can confess directly to God. That is a special relationship that we have. And I'm unapologetic for feeling that way, period. So I don't, we have moved into a more worship centered spirituality. We've been doing online church for a while, and I just feel like I need something a little bit more. And so I'm assuming it's going to be a family thing. But we are reaching out to some friends who originally helped us out on this spiritual journey in Ada, Oklahoma. And we're going to take a trip down there sometime this year, and we're all going to get baptized. I'm like super excited about it. I'm probably going to bawl like a baby. I don't care. I don't care. I 100% accept Jesus. I'm all ready. Let me bawl. Let me bawl. And then I'll ask Peter. He could talk to Pastor Brad and figure it out. But we also have been doing an online church locally here. And I don't want to be a creaster, which if you don't know what that is, a creaster is someone who only goes to church on Christmas and Easter. In case you didn't know. I don't want to be a creaster because we have been doing online church for this local church. And I really love their music and their pastor and their services online. And Peter's been doing some of their kids stuff at home on YouTube. And I thought, wow, he's probably going to really enjoy like a whole day with the kids group, or at least an hour. You know what I'm saying? So we have decided that we are going to make it official and get into the church. And as soon as we did that, we've had 0 Sundays that were available. I am not even making this up anymore. So we have Easter, and I really want him to be there for Easter because I want him to hear about all of the kids part of Easter. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, I don't know how to explain it as much as, hey, Jesus crucified, and, you got to go through all of that. He knows, like, he gets it. Like, he understands what happens, but I don't think he really understands what happens because, he's 8. But I want him to understand more. And so we're going to try to get there tomorrow, but we are actually going to a friend's house and we're going to make tamales. So, like, from scratch. So it was like, we decided we were just going to do a tamale day and like make a ton of tamales, and like, you take half, we take half, and then we're good to go. So we were going to do that. And I'm like, oh man, it's like, okay, so maybe we can go to 9 o'clock service and be out of there by 10, but that's like a late night on for a Sunday. I mean, we don't have school on Monday. So like, I don't care, but Mr. Sith does. So, I mean, it's not like we'd be doing anything like manual, and I would make some stuff ahead of time, but it's still like, you know what I'm saying? So, we're making every effort to make sure that we go tomorrow, basically this week. I guess it's this week, right? Or is that next week? But to go tomorrow so that we can go on Easter and then just make it a thing. And plus, they have a new coffee shop and they opened it. They had like it was always there because it's a new church, and I put a ton of money into it. And I appreciate that as well, that it's like brand new and it's got all these things, the huge playground for the kids and all these like, opportunities that we liked from our friend's church down in Ada. And so I'm like, I want all of that, but like up here. I used to say, man, I wish we like just lived down there that we can go. But I like all the conveniences of here up here. So like, can you put that church up here? And we found that, we think. So some people might be asking, why won't I get baptized there? Because it means it's really symbolic to us, for me to do it in Ada, Oklahoma, where our journey started. That's why. What else is going on? I'm still maintaining weight. I think I've lost a total of, I think I'm almost at 50, but I'm in maintenance now. It's just staying here. What is that called? Plateau, not maintenance. Oh my gosh. I'm in a plateau right now. So I'm having to figure out what kind of exercise my body wants, to deal with that. So I've been doing some light exercise because I don't want to injure myself right now. It hurts to be on the bike, but I found a woman online who's Australian, and it's called Fabulous 50. If you're like one of my gals on here and you're Fabulous 50, she's Australian, and she's beautiful. And she does really nice workouts. Like, I love them. I did her arm workout. I usually fall apart on the arms. It's the worst part of my body. I got bat wings. It's really bad. I'm weak. I'm not anything like I used to be. And it was a 10-minute arm video with weights. Funny story. And so I came out, grabbed my weights, and just walked away. And I didn't realize that my weights were like 5-pound weights. I didn't think anything of it, right? I just grabbed the weights on top. And so maybe they're 3. I don't know, but I grabbed them, right? So I sit in my living room, and she does them while she's sitting. And I'm like, I already love this woman because I always have back problems then. And I don't need to fall down because I got dizzy because I'm working on my arms and I like got lightheaded. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, not sorry. Because there is no modified version for people who have injuries or autoimmune. We need special stuff. And this woman is wonderful. So if you're any of the above, Fabulous 50 on YouTube. So anyway, I don't know her. I get nothing. Again, just something I found that I like. So we're sitting and I'm doing this arm thing. And she's like, at any time, if you want, there's a clock in the corner. She tells you what's coming next. She's got a really pretty setup. I'm like, this is so easy. Like, I could totally do this. So I did the entire thing with the weights. And at the end, she's like, did you put down your weights or did you do it? Did you keep your 1-pound weights? And here's me like, wait, 1 pound. I have like 3 or 5-pound weights and I did it. I was so proud of myself. You'd think I had just ran a marathon. That's how excited I was. It's the little things in life, people. The little things in life. I'm really finding it easier to let things go. I have been really tested a lot, by people, usually, not usually, but in every episode. In every situation, not episode, it's like an episode. They want it to be an episode. But in every situation where I've been tested in the last couple weeks, I have found that it's all people who do not actively communicate with me now or have in the last 5 months and are trying to throw things from my past at me. Don't let people do that. You're worth way more. You are never to be judged by your past. if God doesn't judge you for your past and he's forgiven you and you have forgiven yourself, nobody has the right to do that. And you don't have to be mean to them. You just have to let them go. You got to cut the cord. It just means that, again, you're growing in a different direction. They're growing. It doesn't mean that they're stagnant. I don't like when people are like, sometimes you grow from your friends, girl, and they're just stagnant and sitting there and you're growing and shining. So you got to let them go. Maybe they're growing and shining too, but just on a different road. I don't want to really think that anybody's stagnant. Plus, it's like you're offending them, right? What is the point of throwing in a dig to offend them? They're just growing, but in a different direction. That's totally okay. But you don't have to take anybody bringing up your past, anything, even if it literally was last week. Like it's a no-go. And if it was more than like 2 weeks ago, like, see you later. See you later. Sayonara. Bye-bye. Arrivederci. No bueno. So that's where we're at. Happy Saturday, my friends. I hope there's some sunshine by you. And until we talk next Wednesday, lead with kindness.